how to do a killer client event. Recently on one of my Q&As I do with our agents, somebody had asked the question, "Hey Scott, how do I do a Christmas event or something over the holidays that's great for my clients?" I explained I actually wouldn't do a Christmas event or a holiday event, and then went on to explain why. So in this episode, I'm going to share with you my number one favorite type of event that has been the most successful for me and other people that I have taught this to. I'm going to show you how to leverage the heck out of this event if you're actually going to put it on. And then at the end, I'm going to give you 5 unique event types that you probably haven't heard of. Some of them for sure you haven't heard of all 5 of these. And then it'll give you something to think about if you do want to create awesome client events. Hey, I'm Scott Beckford. This is the I Love Mortgage Brokering podcast, the number one podcast for mortgage brokers who want to scale up their mortgage business. I'm also the founder of Bricks Mortgage. We are Canada's fastest growing mortgage brokerage. But I want to talk today about events. And I think events are something that are more useful now than even when I used to do them back when I was brokering. And hear me out on this. Here's why. If you look at what happened after COVID, the price of movie tickets, the price of any kind of live event went through the roof because the demand went up. And people would say it's inflation. It's not just inflation. It's that people are more people work from home now and are disconnected than ever before. And we actually crave to be around other people. As a mortgage broker, you are a center of a lot of people's world when it comes to their finances. And I think that strategic client events are one of the things that you should consider. Or certainly, if I was brokering today, I would do this in a heartbeat. I would do at least 2 a year. And so let me share with you what event was absolute best for us. And I'll break down why. And there's some specific reasons we do it. And it's like a lot of things. It's like you can do this thing, but then if there's ways to make some tweaks to make it work better. So what we did, the reason I wouldn't do a Christmas or holiday event is that I find that time of year is crazy for most people. Most people, that is not super relaxing. So if you're going to do an event, it's like, oh, one more thing to do on top of the fact that I got to get my kids, they're doing a thing at their school, and maybe there's other stuff they're involved in. And there's all these, you got family stuff. So like between December 15th to New Year's, it's not, even though technically it's usually not as busy for mortgage brokers, it's kind of a hectic time. So I don't like that. The other thing for me is I'm not also a gifts person. So I'm not like some people would send poinsettias and stuff, but honestly, I still feel like it's a bad time of year. And it's like, great, one more poinsettia or a bottle of wine. And sure, it's thoughtful. And maybe if you're really a gifts person, it would mean a lot to you. I personally would rather do an event than just send out something and call it a day. So the event that I have had a ton of success with and was my absolute favorite was a pie giveaway during Thanksgiving. So we are technically past Thanksgiving right now, but I'll break down for you. You can still apply the principles in this for any type of event. So the reason I did the pie giveaway in Thanksgiving is because it was like, hey, we want to thank you for your business. And you know what? Thanksgiving's coming up, and we thought we would give you a pie. We'd basically send an email to our list, choose the pie flavor you want. We'd have 2 or 3 pies. We would then partner with a local bakery. We'd get the pies made, and then they would come to our office and if you don't have an office, I'll talk about that in a sec. Come to our office to pick it up. When they come to pick it up, then we would have coffee and cookies there, and we would chat with people. And I would get 70, 80, 100 people from my clients would show up in a single day and all come to see me and pick up a pie, and we would have a little chat. And it worked because instead of me having to run around, even if you wanted to deliver 15 poinsettias, hope to God, even if you're not doing it, you're paying somebody, I'd rather get them to come to me. Yes, I got probably less people, but it worked really, really well. And it always turned into more business. And so I had a couple of rules when I did these. One, I would not get into a long, because sometimes people tend to show up in spurts. You have nobody, then 3 or 4 people show up. And so I wouldn't let anybody hijack the time to just talk about their mortgage. Or so if somebody started going down the path, hey, what's up with mortgages? What should I do? I'd say, look, you know what? I want to chat with you. Let's set up a time tomorrow or the next day where I can actually give you this full focus, because I want to make sure that I don't want to give you, I want to give you the attention that deserves, make it a benefit for them. And so I would not let people hijack me, even though they would say, hey, Scott, I want to talk about my mortgage. And you may be like, well, why wouldn't you do that? But I'm like, you're talking about the mortgage. You start going deep in that conversation. In walks Sally with her kid. They pick up their pie and leave, and you don't have a chance to interact with them. I'm like, that's not the point of this. The point is like interaction. So the first thing you have to do is assume you're going to get no work done. Do not expect to get any work done, because that's not the purpose of this event. The purpose of this event is just to connect with your clients. The second thing that you can think about when doing one of these events is that, and also, we gave people choice. And then, so I taught this to some people. It worked really well for us. And one of my buddies, Tim Lacroix, he took this to another level. And so what he did was he did the pie giveaway, but then he partnered with one of his lenders or one of his suppliers to help cover some of the cost of the pies. That was pretty smart. And then the other thing he did was when they came, every pie had a a sticker on it, and it said, "Hey, share a picture of you and your family and use this hashtag, and you get entered to win X insert whatever the thing was." And so what happened was maybe it was like a $250 gift basket or a $100 gift basket or something. And so what happens? Everybody took their pies home, and then they would shoot a picture, and they'd have their family, and they would tag him, and they use the hashtag and all that. And then what happened is a whole bunch of people are seeing you got 100 people show up, but now even multiply that times 10, 1,000 people are seeing the event online because of the number of people that are seeing the fact that you engineered in the social part of it, and the fact that he made the giveaway was absolutely genius. In fact, we just did a whole bunch of events called the Isle of Mortgage Brokering Roadshow. So we went to 12 cities, 13 cities actually, 12 and 16 days. It was bonkers. And we did do video and pictures and stuff. And our team was great about turning these things into like little reels. And if you follow me on Insta, I think they turned out really good. Here's the thing though, we actually should have got users. This was a mistake that I didn't think about, is we should have created some, and a lot of people still shared. They would post, if anybody wanted to do a photo, said, no problem, please share. But we could have amped that up if we would have actually created some sort of a contest around it and made it fun for people that were there and participating. And that was a miss on my part. And next time I do an event, that we will be doing that for sure. But in any case, so my buddy Tim, this is what he does. Is he had this live event. He had this live pie giveaway, and it was over 100, like 120 pies or something he had done one year. And what happened is that there was so much social noise around this that a local wine festival was happening in his city, and they saw, and they're like, this guy's he must be like, he's huge, he's everywhere. They reach out to him and say, hey, Tim, you seem to be well connected in this community. Do you want to have some free tickets to our wine festival? So he's like, yes, I do. And then he ended up promoting those to his list. So the fact that he took a live thing that he was going to do anyway, he added in the lender component. So there's the supplier, doesn't have to be a lender. And then he added in the social giveaway. It ended up amplifying the heck out of this thing. So if you're going to do a live event, I encourage you to think about doing that. I encourage you. And now, if you don't have an office, I said, what I talk about that, you could do it at your realtor partner's office. So one of the ideas, I'll give you some things you could do. You could partner with somebody to do this together. So it could be a realtor partner. It could be a realtor and a financial planner. You could be at one of their offices and have everybody come to you. That works. You could do it. And I've also seen it done in a public event. So I saw realtors before who were doing a pumpkin pie giveaway, or pumpkin giveaway rather, and they did it at a local farmer's market that had pumpkins. So get this. So this is genius. So they put their little table up with their signs. Their clients were coming in to get their free pumpkins. But everybody else who wasn't their client were like, why are they getting free pumpkins? How come I'm not getting free pumpkins? Oh, because I'm not a client of these people. So they got the exposure to the non-clients, as well as they didn't have to go buy 100 pumpkins because they had a large database to go and bring them somewhere to have people come to them. So in that case, because that would be logistically challenging, they just did it right there, which I thought was genius when I saw it. And I was like, So my whole thing, one of my things, I just like copy what works, man. I always say copy, paste, edit. Find what works somewhere else, paste it into your business, and then just make adjustments for your personality and market. So if you don't have an office, which I currently don't, so if I was to do this, I would have to find either a public space or one of my partners' places and do it in there. And then, but I'd layer in those things, make it over a 1-day thing. You don't want to make it over multiple days because I personally would try to do it in 1 day, set time. You probably have to go a little bit later so that people getting off work can still pop by. And then what's going to happen if you do this, you're going to end up getting 8 or 10 people that are, you're going to have a small number of people that don't show up. So then the next day, or you can have somebody in your team bring those out to your other partners. So the leftover ones that don't get picked up, you can then turn those into, hey, look, we'll send these over to our lawyer partner, over to this realtor that we work with, and then they're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Because, you end up helping a bunch of people out. So that's how I do that. And I think events are great. But the thing I think about doing it on a busy time of year is that it creates more burden for people. So told you at the end of this, I was going to share with you 5 different ideas for events. And so I'll share you some that I've done that I've had success with, and a couple that I didn't do, but I had seen, I thought they were clever. So one that I did one year for Christmas was a drop and shop. And so it was basically the parents could drop, because I worked with lots of first time buyers, the parents could drop their kid off. And I ended up partnering with a local nanny service that was just expanding and wanted to get in front of more clients. I had a large client list. I said, look, why don't we partner? I will promote your service to my clients, to your nanny service, which, it's basically like, professional babysitters. And some of them would do more than babysitting. But in any case, so we rent at a local rec center. We rented a massive room with stuff in it. And then she staffed it with all of her people. And then my clients were able to come one evening. I don't know if I remember what we did. It was like 5 to 7 or something. And they could drop their kid off and go shopping. We had people, and I was like, this is great. I actually dropped my kids off, and I took my wife on a date. I was like, hey, we got childcare. Like, why don't we do it? So I showed up. I wasn't there the whole time. I'm not a professional taking care of children. But so that was one that we did, and people loved it because they were like, "Oh my gosh, this is great! We can go out shopping and leave our kids," and it was professional and all that stuff. So that was when we did. Another one that we've done before is I had a friend who had a place. He's a realtor who had a property on the dock, and it was out around a lake at a dock, and so we ended up partnering. We got a parasailing company that has the parasailing where they drag you on the boat in the parachute behind it. And so what we did was we said, "Hey, come by. We're gonna do parasailing." And we had them booked for multiple hours. It wasn't that expensive because was a block of time, and it was a time of year then it wasn't as busy. And so we had people come by. We had a barbecue. I brought all the ice cream. So I said, "Look, my contribution is I'll bring ice cream for all the kids, and I would make the kids do a math problem to get a ice cream." And so if they were little, if I'd ask, "How old are you?" and I'd give them a simple problem or a hard problem, and it was just a fun way for me to like interact with the kids and the parents, and so that was another one we did. But that was like, so we took advantage of this property that this guy had, and and then a service that would be difficult to get, and people love that. I've also movie nights. So another thing you can do is bring people in to do a movie night. So you book with the whole movie theater, bring in your clients at the beginning. And I've seen some of my buddies, Bernadette did this. She's done this numerous times, and so you can either before the movie starts, you get up and you do a little talk. And say, "Hey, look, thanks guys for coming. I want to thank you for as our client. This is just one of the ways that we say thank you. Appreciate you, yada yada." If it's a family movie, because especially if you work with a lot of families, it's great. You can also get them to play a video, so you don't actually even have to do that at the front of it. So you can have them play a video. You still be there. You should be there, and then have them play a video. And so a movie night's another thing you could do. That certainly doesn't. It works outside of the typical busy holiday times. Another one was a taco truck. So another agent that I talked to, if you remember, there's a podcast I did with Sarah, and she's in the van. She does 200 mortgages a year, driving around in a van. But she does go back to Portland a couple times a year, and when she does events. And one of them was, I think, a Taco Tuesday night, and she had a taco truck come, and they had a property in the backyard, and all their clients came by and had tacos and visited. So you can do something like that. Again, bring the truck in at a location. Another one that I heard that I really liked was a cookie making contest. So this was during Christmas, and this is from Sarah at Mint Mortgage, and she would do a cookie decorating contest where people would share them on social. Brilliant. And then they would do giveaways and prizes, and it turned into tons and tons of eyeballs. I actually like that idea a lot. And I think it's a pretty clever way because the thing is, that's something they're already going to do. People are already going to make cookies during the holidays. It's kind of a thing. So I was like, why don't I just hijack something? But I'm not actually asking them I'm not taking up a lot of their time except sharing something on social. So those are 5 ideas. So I'll give you a quick recap. So there's the drop and shop idea. So something to do for Christmas or the holidays. You've got the parasailing. If you can find a unique piece of property, there's the movie night, there's the cookie making contest, and then a taco truck, Taco Tuesday. Whatever you want to do. I do think that if you're a successful mortgage broker and you've got 100 plus clients, especially if your clients, you're not all going to be within driving distance. Can't do anything about that. But if you can get in front of more of them, it's actually an absolutely powerful way for you to build more connection, and people will participate in it. I believe that they will. But don't forget, add in one, don't expect to get any work done. 2, add in the social content so that you get some leverage out of it. And the last piece I'd say to this is consider partners, whether it's a realtor or someone else, or like I did with the nanny service, partner with somebody so you can actually make this work better. Anyways, I hope you find that useful. As I said, I'm Scott Beckford. This is the 10-minute, a little bit more this week, tactical podcast that I produced to help you in your mortgage business. As I always say, there's no problem in your mortgage business someone else hasn't already solved. Your problem is who's got the answer to my problem. Hopefully this podcast provides you with some of those answers. Thanks again for listening, and I will see you on the next episode.